Whether you're an urban sketcher or whether you are going on holiday or traveling and you're an artist and you want to carry some supplies with you, then this is the video for you. Hey, welcome. In this video, I'm going to be highlighting some wonderful travel-friendly art supplies, and as well as showing you these art supplies, I am also going to be demonstrating how you can use them in your everyday art practice. All the supplies are by Pentel, who are kindly sponsoring this video. I will link everything down below in the description for you, but with no further ado, let's get started. Perhaps unsurprisingly, one of the first and key things that I have to mention is a mechanical pencil. A mechanical pencil can be an incredible asset to your toolkit. And the reason that I specify a mechanical pencil is because they maintain their point, you don't need to bring a sharpener with you, and quite often if they're like this Graph Gear 1000, they will also have a rubber at the end, so it just really streamlines your pencil case and it allows you to achieve a lot with a little. I tend to use my pencils in a range of different ways, but to be honest, I sometimes stick to the more predictable way of trying to do a rough sketch which I paint over or ink over later on. But I implore you to take things further and really play around and experiment with using a pencil. There's so much that you can learn and create and do by using this one simple tool, from thumbnails to work on composition all the way to doing tonal studies where you're really looking at your subject and figuring out where are the shadows, where are the highlights, and where are your midtones. And if you have no time at all to do anything else, it can be really good to just get a pencil, get a quick sketch down, and then complete it later when you have time to do so. But ultimately, how can you convey what is sometimes a complex subject matter using just a simple pencil? And just in case you were curious, I'm using the Pentel Graph Gear 1000 pencil. It has a HB lead inside, but I can change it to what I want. And I in fact bought red lead just to try that out at some point. I am a big advocate for use what you have, but if you were looking for a pencil, then I would recommend this one. I have broken quite a few mechanical pencils in my past, and this one has survived the test of time. As well as being sturdy and ergonomic, it's also lightweight, it's got a metal casing, and it's actually got a mechanism that will withdraw the tip completely so that you have a blunt end, which avoids that kind of pesky hole poking nature of some mechanical pencils. A lot of the time after I have done my pencil sketch, I want to go in and finesse it. And what I mean by that is quite often adding ink in one form or another. Now, if you've been doing urban sketching for a while or you've watched other videos, then you are absolutely no stranger to this pen because it seems to be like a staple favorite amongst urban sketchers all over the world. And we keep mentioning it on YouTube. In case you haven't heard of this before, it's essentially a brush pen which comes with cartridges that contain water-resistant ink. One of the key benefits of the cartridges is that you're able to replace them with time when you run out rather than throwing away the pen. With regards to the nib itself, it has a soft brush that, although I'd say it's probably medium size, it comes to a really fine tip, so you're able to get a wide range of different lines. By applying light pressure, you can get some really thin strokes, and when you add hard pressure, you can get broader strokes and cover large areas. One of the added benefits is that it almost feels like you are painting when you are using it, or painting with ink because of the brush nib at the end. Irrespective of whether you use this brush pen or a paintbrush with ink to do this, I think it can be so fun to try creating urban sketches or art using a paintbrush doing line work, especially because the variation in the line sizes and the pressure that you use will give your artwork so much character and so much personality, as well as like a playful, organic illustration-like feel. The key to using this pen or to using a brush when doing this is to really work on controlling the pressure that you apply. Don't stress yourself out, just have fun with it and see all the different effects that you can get, not only with the pressure but also with varying the angle of the brush to see what different brush strokes you can get. If you love watercolors, then one of the benefits of using waterproof or water-resistant ink is that you're actually able to watercolor over the top once you've done your line work. And of course, then the options are completely endless. I've created a separate video where I talk about how you can paint outdoors and troubleshoot different issues. One of the main issues is how can you carry water around in an easy way? And one of the solutions is to use a water brush pen, which I'm highlighting here. They come in a number of different shapes and sizes, and one of the clear benefits is that you're able to fill the reservoir with water, and then by applying pressure, you can guide water through the brush. So it's just an easy way to carry water in your pencil case. To clean it, you just wipe off any excess paint on a paper towel or any towel that you have handy. This entire piece felt very playful to me, perhaps because of the line work that I did, so I decided to use purple to do a monochromatic painting. I personally love creating art using watercolors and ink. That being said, there are so many other things that you can do, and in this video I really want to explore the different ways that you can create urban sketches and make the most of having just a few supplies. One of the ways that you can do that is by using water-soluble inks, and we've already touched on water-resistant inks that won't budge when you add watercolor over the top, whereas water-soluble inks will do the exact opposite. Now, where I don't necessarily recommend adding watercolors to it, I do think that it can be a lot of fun to just add water to it and see what is going to happen, and that is what I'm going to demonstrate in this piece. This is actually based on a reference that I took when I was in Venice, and I went there on a solo trip to paint, to sketch, and to have a really amazing time. So every time I look at it, I honestly smile. But one of the benefits of this is, as you can see, I am just using water in this piece. I am not adding any watercolor, I am not adding any paint. So through the use of using one pen and a water brush, I'm actually able to create this line drawing into what looks like a watercolor piece. And this can be a really nice way to add shadows. It can be a really nice way to add tones and to make the picture look 3D and to just make it different. I use the Pentel sign pens for this, and not only do they come in different colors, but they don't completely dissolve, which means that I am actually able to add shadows rather than completely turn this painting into a blob. And you're also able to draw over the top once it's dry without the pen feathering. So I think this is a really fun thing to try out and to experiment with. Bring out your pens, add water to them, see which ones are water soluble, so which ones will actually dissolve in the water, and see what cool effects and what cool art you can create with them. For all my precision loving friends, I could not do an urban sketching essentials video or art supply essentials video without mentioning fine liners, and they come in varying nib sizes as well as different colors, and the ink inside is water resistant or waterproof if you like, so it won't budge when you add watercolor over the top. I personally love using fine liners and watercolors for my urban sketches, and more often than not, after I've added those details, I really like bringing the piece to life by adding color. I wanted to step outside my comfort zone, so I actually used oil pastels to add color to this piece, and I really like that illustration-like style that I ended up achieving in doing so. I think it can be so fun to try a media that you're not used to step outside your comfort zone, and that's exactly what I did with this. Because you're able to blend oil pastels together, you can actually create a wide range of colors using just a few oil pastels, so you wouldn't have to carry the entire range. But if you were looking for an affordable, like really affordable but good quality set of oil pastels, then this set should definitely be in consideration. Watercolor pencils are a great way to add color and life to your art pieces, whether you're just using them to add hints of color or just adding details to full-blown complete illustrations. You can leave them in their dry form, or you can add water with a water brush and then turn them into watercolors. Another tip or another way to use them is that if you don't like having graphite lines underneath your illustrations or underneath your paintings, then you can consider using a watercolor pencil, which will then dissolve once you add water, and then therefore no more graphite lines. Just be mindful of the fact that depending on the color that you're using, it may blend with any other paint that you also add. Now, in this video, I have highlighted just some of the art supplies that you can use to really diversify your art practice and to have fun when you are traveling with art supplies or when you are urban sketching. But honestly, there's so much more. I have a video on my YouTube channel about urban sketching and creating art outdoors. So if you want to know more about that in particular when it comes to painting, then check out those videos. All the supplies that I used will be available through the link down below in the description. A super special thank you to Pentel for sponsoring this video and for letting me pick my favorite supplies. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video and found it helpful. By all means, feel free to ask questions if you have any down below in the comments. If you're still watching, then you are most definitely a real MVP, and I really appreciate you. I am super curious. Let me know that you are still watching by telling me how long you have been creating art for. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video and that you've got something that you can use in your next art adventure. Thank you so much for watching, and happy creating. Bye.